Hey friends, welcome back. We are jumping right into paragraph 32 of Advent of Divine Justice. To a lesser degree, this principle must of necessity apply to the country which has vindicated its right to be regarded as the cradle of the world order of Baha'u'lláh. So great a function, so noble a role, can be regarded as no less inferior to the part played by those immortal souls who, through their sublime renunciation and unparalleled deeds, have been responsible for the birth of the faith itself. Let not, therefore, those who are to participate so predominantly in the birth of that world civilization, which is the direct offspring of their faith, imagine for a moment that for some mysterious purpose or by any reason of inherent excellence or special merit, Baha'u'lláh has chosen to confer upon their country and people so great and lasting a distinction. It is precisely by reason of the patent evils which, notwithstanding its other admittedly great characteristics and achievements, an excessive and binding materialism has unfortunately engendered within it that the author of their faith and the center of his covenant have singled it out to become the standard bearer of the new world order envisaged in their writings. Let me just read that sentence again. Isn't that crazy? It is precisely by reason of the patent evils which, notwithstanding its other admittedly great characteristics and achievements, an excessive and binding materialism has unfortunately engendered within it that the author of their faith and the center of his covenant have singled it out to become the standard bearer of the new world order envisaged in their writings. It is by such means as this that Baha'u'lláh can demonstrate to a heedless generation his almighty power to raise up from the very midst of a people immersed in a sea of materialism, a prey to one of the most virulent and long-lasting forms of racial prejudice and notorious for its political corruption, lawlessness, and laxity in moral standards, men and women who, as time goes by, will increasingly exemplify those essential virtues of self-renunciation, of moral rectitude, of chastity, of indiscriminating fellowship, of holy discipline, and of spiritual insight that will fit them for the preponderating share they will have in calling into being that world order and that world civilization of which their country, no less than the entire human race, stands in desperate need. Theirs will be the duty and privilege in their capacity first as the establishers of one of the most powerful pillars sustaining the edifice of the universal house of justice, and then as the champion builders of that new world order of which that house is to be the nucleus and forerunner, to inculcate, demonstrate, and apply those twin and sorely needed principles of divine justice and order, principles to which the political corruption and the moral license increasingly staining the society to which they belong offer so sad and striking a contrast. Observations such as these, however distasteful, is this 2018 when he wrote this? Observations such as these, however distasteful and depressing they may be, should not in the least blind us to those virtues and qualities of high intelligence, of youthfulness, of unbounded initiative and enterprise, which the nation as a whole so conspicuously displays, and which are being increasingly reflected by the community of the believers within it. It's really interesting. High intelligence, youthfulness, unbounded initiative, and enterprise. That does describe this country very much, and how neat that we as believers are being called to continue to exercise these qualities in a service of a higher good. Upon these virtues and qualities, no less than upon the elimination of the evils referred to, materialism, racism, moral laxity, corruption, must depend to a very great extent the ability of that community to lay a firm foundation for the country's future role in ushering in the golden age of the cause of Bahá'u'lláh. How great, therefore, how staggering the responsibility that must weigh upon the present generation of the American believers at this early stage in their spiritual and administrative evolution, to weed out by every means in their power those faults, habits, and tendencies which they have inherited from their own nation, and to cultivate patiently and prayerfully those distinctive qualities and characteristics that are so indispensable to their effective participation in the great redemptive work of their faith. Incapable as yet, in view of the restricted size of their community and the limited influence it now wields, of producing any marked effect on the great mass of their countrymen, let them focus their attention for the present on their own selves, their own individual needs, their own personal deficiencies and weaknesses, ever mindful that every intensification of effort on their part will better equip them for the time when they will be called upon to eradicate in their turn such evil tendencies from the lives and hearts of the entire body of their fellow citizens. Nor must they overlook the fact that the world order whose basis they, as the advance guard of the future Baha'i generation of their countrymen, are now laboring to establish, can never be reared unless and until the generality of the people to which they belong has been already purged from the diverse ills, whether social or political, that now so severely afflict it. Surveying as a whole the most pressing needs of this community, attempting to estimate the more serious deficiencies by which it is being handicapped in the discharge of its task, and ever bearing in mind the nature of that still great task with which it will be forced to wrestle in the future, I feel it my duty, says Shoghi Effendi, to lay special stress upon and draw the special and urgent attention of the entire body of the American believers, be they young or old, white or colored, teachers or administrators, veterans or newcomers, to what I firmly believe are the essential requirements for the success of the tasks which are now claiming their undivided attention. Great as is the importance of fashioning the outward instruments and of perfecting the administrative agencies which they can utilize for the prosecution of their dual task under the 7-year plan, vital and urgent as are the campaigns which they are initiating, the schemes and projects which they are devising, and the funds which they are raising for the efficient conduct of both the teaching and temple work, the imponderable, the spiritual factors which are bound up with their own individual and inner lives, and with which are associated their human and social relationships, are no less urgent and vital and demand constant scrutiny, continual self-examination, and the heart-searching on their part, lest their value be impaired or their vital necessity be obscured or forgotten. Of the spiritual prerequisites of success which constitute the bedrock on which the security of all teaching plans, temple projects, and financial schemes must ultimately rest, the following stand out as preeminent and vital, which the members of the American Baha'i community will do well to ponder. Upon the extent to which these basic requirements are met and the manner in which the American believers fulfill them in their individual lives, administrative activities, and social relationships must depend the measure of the manifold blessings which the all-bountiful possessor can vouchsafe to them. These requirements are none other than a high sense of moral rectitude in their social and administrative activities, absolute chastity in their individual lives, and complete freedom from prejudice in their dealings with people of a different race, class, creed, or color. That concludes paragraph 36 of The Advent of Divine Justice. Woo! The requirements of building this amazing civilization. Folks, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell button if you want to be notified every time I upload a video. I am now in a position to be a lot more consistent with these, and we've got a lot of profundity to get through. So once again, subscribe, like, share, comment. I'd love to make this interactive. Have a great day, making the world a better place.